Leaders of both parties may have a deal, but now it's up to the rank and file to pass a bill before tomorrow night. Our next guest is a Tea Party-backed congressman who supports raising the debt ceiling. Joining us now from Washington, D.C., freshman congressman from Illinois, Adam Kinzinger. Good to see you, Congressman.
Hey, guys. Morning. Yeah, great to see you. Morning.
Morning.
All right, so I'm looking at your resume, and first of all, you're a former Air Force pilot. So the first thing that would come to mind to me, and you've spoken about this before on this show, is the defense cuts. Is that what would trouble you most in this deal moving forward?
Yeah, I'm still a pilot in the Air National Guard. It's a commitment I'm able to keep up, and I'll tell you what, it is a concern I have. You know, I understand that when you come up with an agreement that it's going to be one of those things that nobody likes, but, you know, most people can tolerate. And but I'm very concerned about the future of defense cuts, because at a time when, you know, we're engaged in two different wars and in theaters all around the world fighting terrorism, we got to be very careful at where we make this. So that's some of the questions I have today as we really get into this legislation: is what are the cuts and how serious are they before I, you know, decide I'm a yes vote on this.
No doubt about it, Congressman. There are areas in the Pentagon budget that could be trimmed.
Sure.
But this is such a gigantic number. I mean, if this super committee makes some recommendations and they're not acted on, then the triggers kick in, and half the Pentagon, half the cuts are going to come from the Pentagon. That is just a lot.
Yeah, it is a lot. And I think what happened is that automatic triggers are actually set up to be so painful that we don't have to get to that point where we're making those across-the-board cuts. You know, so hopefully we can do the work of adults here and really try to get to the cuts that we need, or send a balanced budget amendment to the states. So, but again, to really target defense is to me a little worrisome. I'm not saying this is a bad deal. I'm not saying I'm going to vote against it because of it, but I am saying myself, and I imagine a number of other congressmen have a lot of questions about that I'm sure the leadership will be very forward about answering. They've been very good so far, to be honest, and say it's not the best deal in the world, but it's the best we can get.
What is the deal, Congressman? The clock is ticking down. What piece of paper have you actually seen? How much in defense cuts do you believe there are there at this very point in time? Because we have till tomorrow.
Yeah, I know. And that's, you know, the tragic thing is this is how Washington, D.C., what I've learned in 7 months is Washington, D.C. is so last minute. What I hear is it may be around a $400 billion cut, though we have to get more details on that. The bill is going to be posted online, or actually was posted online last night, and I'm going to look forward to actually reading that. And then we got a little bit of a PowerPoint presentation, seven pages, which basically outlines the gist of the bill. Again, it's so broad because Speaker Boehner and you know, the President were really in these conversations and finally said, all right, this hurts for everybody, but it's something we can move forward on. So, you know, again, I hope it's something I can support, because I think the American people really do want both sides to come together, work this thing out. And look, we're not getting tax increases. We're cutting spending at a greater rate than we're raising the debt ceiling. To me, this is very close to what we set out to do at the very beginning.
That's great.
Well, some people think that the most breaking news on Capitol Hill wasn't the discussion of the debt ceiling in the last couple of weeks, but the 50 most beautiful people. And the Hill News, sorry for the surprise so bright and early, but damn, you look good this early in the morning, so might as well point it out that you were number 5 on, according to the Hill newspaper. What does that do anything? I know it does something for your self-esteem, but does it help you vote or anything like that?
No, look, here's the deal. What's the old saying? Politics is like Hollywood for ugly people, so you're really putting yourself on that scale. So I guess it's nice to be recognized, but it's kind of funny.
Who got to vote in that, by the way?
I don't know. They need to have their head examined, whoever it is.
Well, I'm wondering, is there any competition between you and Congressman Aaron Schock? Because he's also from Illinois, and he was the guy who was on the cover, almost in the buff. There. Keep that picture up. He was on the cover without any shirt on. Any competition there?
No, you know what? Aaron and I are actually really good friends. He's my neighboring congressman, and he was very helpful in me getting here. And you know what? I could be on the Men's Health, but I would be the before picture. So he can keep all that.
Sure. Well, we don't know exactly who voted for that. Congratulations on that. But before you go, we got to kind of try to pin you down on how you're going to vote on this debt deal.
Well, look, the Boehner version 1 I was supportive of. Version 2 I obviously voted for. I'm open to doing it. If this is real cuts and you know, we move the ball forward and down the field, we can't get a touchdown every pass, but if we can move the ball forward, then I'll be supportive. But again, those defense cuts are something I've got to look at very seriously. And I think later today, you know, I'll have read the bill and been briefed a little more, and we'll be able to move forward.
So you're definitely leaning toward saying, yep.
I'm leaning towards being open to saying yes. I guess that's the best way to put it.
What are you hearing from your colleagues, Congressman, people that have Tea Party support? Are they moving towards this or moving away? What's the consensus?
You know, I'm hearing a lot of the same thing. There's some that have said I can't do it, some that have said I'm definitely in. The most people I've heard have said, look, you know, we don't want to have to. This is so last minute, which isn't good to be in this position anyway, that we want to make sure we're going to do our homework over the short amount of time we probably have. You know, I wouldn't even be opposed to a very short-term debt deal extension while we can talk this out, but I'm not sure if it's going to move that way. But look, I think people are cautiously optimistic here. I'm cautiously optimistic. Again, we've moved the ball down the field, but we've got a serious problem here, and it'll be nice to finally talk once again about creating jobs in this country and getting people back to work.
All right, Congressman Adam Kinzinger from Illinois, great to see you this morning. Thanks for getting up bright and early.
You bet. See you guys. Thanks.
So long.
Take care.
Now to the other stories making headlines right now. The family of that missing 11-year-old girl is speaking out for the first time. Selena Cass